Low back pain is most commonly coming from 3 different areas. Number 1 is the disc. The second spot is the sacroiliac joint. The last spot, the third spot, is the spot that very few people ever examine, is the hip. A person who has a disc problem is usually sitting in a very forward posture, little off to the side on one buttock. And the reason why is because it offsets the pressure of that disc problem. Very often they will hurt more when they're sitting than when they're standing. When they're sitting down and they go from a sitting to standing position, if a person usually they grunt and they usually stand up and they grab one side of their spine, that's usually their sacroiliac joint. If they're sitting down and their leg is turned out and it's that side that hurts, usually you're gonna think hip. A person who has a disc problem when they're standing up, this is the front of them, this is the back of them. If I ask them to, let me see how far you can bend forward. If they get to about 15 degrees and they just don't go any farther, that's usually a disc herniation. But if they go 15 degrees and they're not going any farther, instantly I know it's not a hip and it's not a sacroiliac joint, it's a disc. Very often, the disc patient will go backwards and actually feel better. If a person goes forward all the way to touch their toes, but bending backwards hurts, it could either be a facet joint or a sacroiliac joint. More commonly, if the pain is up in the lumbar region, it's going to be a facet joint. If the pain is down on one side versus the other, and they point to their sacroiliac joint, it could be their sacroiliac joint. And here's how we're gonna confirm these two. The video sponsor for today is Bioptimizers. They have a new product with 5 natural superfoods and 4 different mushroom strains. This may give you better hair, nails, and skin, a better immune system, and better brain function. There will be a link down in the description if you wanna look at this product and investigate it and see if it's something that you would like to try. You could read about all the details and there will of course be a discount code. What I do is I'll put 2 scoops of this product in 6 ounces of water or almond milk. It tastes awesome and I could feel the difference of how it affects my brain. Click the link down below in the description to check it out. The first is, if it's a facet joint, I'm gonna confirm it with motion palpation, which I'm gonna discuss in a moment here. But the second way to confirm is motion palpation, called the standing gelée test. And what I'll do is I'll place one thumb on their sacrum and another thumb on the sacroiliac joint, and I'll have them raise and lower their leg. Very often, what you're looking for is movement in the sacroiliac joint. If they do not have any movement of the sacroiliac joint, that further confirms that that backwards bending is likely coming from their sacroiliac joint. The hip problem, when I say hip, most people think of the hip as up here, but the hip is actually down into this hole right here, this cavity. Very often, this is confirmed through a motion test called Patrick-Faber test or internal rotation. And right now what you're doing is you're seeing me move my hips into the position of the Faber, then right now I'm moving it into internal rotation. That is how you determine if the person has a hip problem. If you'd like to see me in my office, I have my address, it's on my YouTube. It's down in the description down below. If you're a chiropractor and you have any questions in regard to this, you can ask in the comment section down below.